Yes. On the show, TDMS. Yeah. So, one thing that's nice about this show is we get to bring, people to Sonoma County, people to you, introduce you to people that you don't know, and I think another part is the charity part. Like, we really want to do work in every area that we go to in communities, and I think you said your family is part of
Yes.
a
So my nephew Darian,
yeah.
or known as DJ,
Hmm.
passed away in 2023 from a sudden diagnosis of glioblastoma. So it was a
Yes.
grade 4 brain tumor.
Okay.
Um, and unfortunately, 6 weeks after diagnosis, he passed away.
Hmm.
So it was kind of like how they say when your family gets that news, like you never thought it could happen to your circle.
Right.
So it being to a 15-year-old,
Yeah.
not an adult,
Yeah.
you question everything.
Yeah.
But after he passed, okay, what can we do?
Hmm.
How can we advocate
Hmm.
or help other families that need to go or navigate through this unforeseen,
Yeah.
whether it is 6 weeks to live, 3 months to live, or like they're navigating the treatment of what comes with any kind of brain tumor.
Right.
So I found this website called National Brain Tumor Society,
Hmm.
and they hold different events. So we were debating on whether or not to go directly through the Stanford Children's Hospital or the Brain Tumor Society. Just we really just want to see what would impact families more
Okay.
without us starting our own nonprofit.
Yeah.
So we went throughout a National Brain Tumor Society.
Okay.
So they hold events every year called
Yeah.
Boston Marathon,
Yeah.
New York Run,
Yeah.
Los Angeles Marathon.
Yeah.
And I just brought it up to my brother, Jesus, who's very athletic. All my brothers are very athletic.
Yeah.
So I said, they have a run coming up in LA. So DJ passed in April of 2023. And that following March, my brother ran on behalf of his son, in honor of his
Hmm.
son. So yeah, that's one part,
That's what
charity.
part. It's a charity that so you were saying that you were hoping that you can help families with the grieving process or understand some of the things that you went through,
Yeah,
and instead of starting your own like network
yeah,
or charity, you thought partnering with this group, they
yes,
align with some of your values and what you wanted to see get done, and they hold events around the country.
yes.
Right.
So I mean, it takes a lot. Like my brother was trying to see different things, like whether I mean, there's still a lot of moving parts. He still would like to do a lot more
Yeah.
because my nephew was a big athlete in
Yeah.
soccer,
Right.
so he's
Right.
done soccer since the time he could walk. So my brother either wants to still do something locally for the community,
Yeah.
like either doing funding, family, like because my nephew did travel sports, so travel soccer
Right.
at a high competitive level called
Hmm.
MLS.
Hmm.
So with that, you have to think of travel expenses, gear,
Yeah.
taking time. Most of it is out of state, so flight and all of that.
Hmm.
So my brother's like, what if we did a thing, play like DJ as well?
Yeah.
That will help. We have a charity amount or we fundraise an amount to support one family for the season
Okay.
to help the parents, because a
Okay.
lot of the times too
Yeah.
for soccer it's
Yeah.
it's
It's
with the
expensive.
culture it's expensive,
Yeah.
and this would help some families, whether it's the registration fee,
Yeah.
some travel fees. But anyway, so with that, it's just when someone, like when this happened, there was so many ideas thrown on the table,
Okay.
but it's like, what can we make an impact with right away, or what will actually like get the ball rolling for later in future other things can come up. And the National
Right.
Brain Tumor was like, that goes to what we want to represent, like research,
Yeah.
cure hopefully one
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
and then advocacy for family that
Yeah.
are going through like grief support and things like that,
Yeah.
that we know is a good foundation. And then from there
Right.
it hopefully branches off to a nonprofit
So
for.
the GBM, the glioblastoma, it's a 100% fatality
Correct.
rate, and it happens at people different ages. I had a buddy of mine. His dad went through the same process, and a month later, he passed from the GBM, glioblastoma. It's a brain tumor. You can treat it, but it's eventually is gonna
Correct.
take you
Yeah.
out. Your family dealt with it from a healthy teenager.
Yes.
And that's the scary thing for any of us to go through. A healthy, strong kid all of a sudden is having symptoms, and weeks later he's gone.
Yes.
So it's hard to deal with the emotions, the finances, the families. It's so many moving parts on it, but You were saying the culture, the culture. Describe to us a little bit about what you mean when you say the culture, how your background or your family's culture
Mhm.
affected some of this transition or
Yeah. Well, I mean, for most part, just as like growing up, or where
yeah.
we came here from Mexico, so immigrated. My parents immigrated here from Mexico,
Hmm.
and it's always been like with school and everything. It's like you cover yourself, like only yourself. Like we couldn't, like traditional kids now, if need help with the homework, they can go to their parents. We were kind of like, if we had problems, we had to figure out ourselves because our parents didn't speak English. So
Hmm.
we were kind of like
Yeah.
fend for ourselves in the academic side.
Yeah.
Sports, my brothers always thrived. So my dad never wanted them to be in any kind of like gang or give them too much free time where they could
Yeah.
go down the wrong path.
Yeah.
But at the same time with that, my parents were never really like an emotional, like showed much like emotional support for us, like how to cope with things, how to deal with
Hmm.
things, like day to day of what, like I think now for my kids, like just being a teenager, why do I feel like this, how do it
Yeah.
was never really
Okay.
explained.
Okay.
So when we lost DJ, I felt like a lot of the things from my parents stem back to, like, well, did we pray hard enough, did
Hmm.
we do this?
Yeah.
They didn't look at the science of like
Okay.
what this diagnosis came and
Sure.
why it
Sure.
happened.
Sure.
So when he
Sure.
passed, it was just kind of what they felt, but didn't know, like, what can I do for my son? Like, how can I support my son and
Hmm.
be there? So it's just like a navigating uncharted territory for all of us,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not having the right tools. So I think we broke through the grief and try to find ways to help my
Hmm.
brother as best. And I mean, I still think there's a lot we could
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
and still do because it's something that you live with every day, not having your son. But
So the charity runs that your family participates in,
mhm,
it raises funds. You
yes,
get people to sponsor and donate per
yes,
mile or per steps, which is great. There's always money that's needed to go into these things. We have another friend of ours that works for the Cancer Society, and yeah, I think TDMS would like to partner with people and bring exposure and awareness of people's stories
yes,
and participate and contribute. And even like you say, you guys hold events for MLS or soccer or whatever.
yeah,
TDMS can come out and bring some golf and some podcasts and
yeah,
bring some
yeah.
awareness and things like this.
So the next run, so LA is kind of our starting point. My brothers eventually would try to like to make it to the East Coast, but
Yeah.
that's gonna be some time because that takes a lot more
Okay.
training and a lot more dedication
Yeah.
for
Right.
to really get there. But I think they can definitely they
Hmm.
can accomplish it.
Hmm.
But so our next event is in March. It's going to be held in LA. My son Charles will actually be running on part of it.
Yeah.
So we started with a small group of family and my brothers. And then last year we had 9 runners, but it's between some participating in the full marathon, which is 26 miles. They start at the Dodger Stadium,
Wow.
run almost, I'd say, like a mile or two away from Santa Monica, and then
Wow.
come back to Century City, and then the
Wow.
half marathon same starts at Dodger and ends at Century City.
Yeah.
But each person that signs up, you're committing to fundraising. So each individual has to raise at least $675 to go towards, as they say, putting the meaning behind the miles.
Yeah.
And then we've always been very fortunate that the outreach we have with my brother's friends,
Yeah.
just people we've met, colleagues, it just a community has always
Wow.
supported that. So
Yeah.
we've always exceeded.
Yeah.
And also some of the runners, we have 2 of my brother's friends that have participated, and one of our friends, Edwin, shout out to Edwin, is also very generous with his work. Like people really, when they know it's for a
Yeah.
good meaning, people will
Okay.
help with that. So
Yeah.
March 8th, LA is the next
And how do
run.
you get people to Patreon or how do you send the link or information out or how do you?
So mostly social media, either text
Yeah.
or social media.
Mm-hmm.
But I for like Charlie's, I used a picture of him with the National Brain Tumor Gray Endurance Nation is the team. It's the Gray Endurance Nation. So he's wearing a
Mm-hmm.
T-shirt and he has DJ's name.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just tell everyone the story, like this is why we're running.
Yeah.
Here's our why, and how we hope to make a difference. And then again, I think it's just unfortunate that it happened to such a young
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
But it's just people realize like it happened to anyone, and then
Yeah.
just the generosity and support from everyone
Yeah, I
has
think it's
been.
a wonderful thing you're doing, keeping the memory alive Uh, Culturally, I know people sometimes look at it differently. Why does this happen to me? We're being punished, or
Correct.
we're just
Yeah.
gonna something I did in the past life. I got to pray myself through it. I don't have any answers, but in this country, there's a lot of research and there's a lot
Yeah.
of ways to contribute and participate. Obviously, again, it's a great thing that you guys are doing for yourself and not just your community. I mean, I think other people need to, like you say, have support going through tough times. But do you think your particular hands in is hopefully just to speak to the Mexican or Mexicano community?
I mean, I hope so. I mean, I think the
Yeah,
more we
which is
talk
cool.
about it, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I think so. I think the more we talk about it, because again, grief is such a like taboo of people. Anywhere I go, I'm like, oh, my nephew DJ, my nephew DJ. I don't ever leave his name not come like every day
yeah,
he's in thought. So I think the more people see it, it's like it's okay to cry. It's okay to have happy thoughts, sad days, because again, I think a lot of the time people try to repress their feelings, and
hmm,
it's like they were a living soul. They made you smile. They were here present. Like just because they're not here in a human form, like we can still honor them. And hopefully that's helped like his friends or anyone that would maybe not parents will say like, my son was really depressed after losing him. And it's just, we have to think like he affected so many people, whether in school and sports. So
yeah,
hopefully it's shining light like, hey, it's okay to feel how you're feeling.
yeah.
And grief is just if we knew what comes with it, no one would be, it just comes with so many emotions,
Yeah,
whether
people have
happy or sad.
a tough time, I guess, in school. They're really trying to push certain things, and I guess people look at it weird. But anyway, I think emotions in general, we're supposed to like sit in them. If you have a moment where you're feeling some kind of way, you're
Yeah.
supposed to look into it, as opposed to saying, "Oh, I'm too tough. I don't have
Suppress
time
it.
to
Yeah.
be."
I'm a man. I can't,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
I don't want to seem weak. But
I don't get sad. What do you mean? But I think the whole thing in school, the SEL, my kids, it's about recognizing these emotions,
yeah.
and those do help us, I believe, as from children or whatever, become emotionally stable adults.
Yes.
Myself, I still learn from these things, so it's not too late to attach emotions and feelings to situations in life. But again, anything on our journeys that help us get through it, we might as well give it a shot. But
Yeah.
yeah, good stuff, man. Hey, it's tough losing people. I think time does heal. So hopefully you don't forget people, but in time you do feel better about it, and you carry people with you as you do.
Yeah.
You contribute, you help other people out. TDMS is what the show's about.
Yes.